At the very beginning, it wasn't actually the beginning. It was actually acknowledging the existence of presence. We were all like librarians who have already read all the books of the universe, but while we are reading these books, we could never prove if what we were reading in these books were true. So the truth was here, in the center, but the truth acknowledged itself and said, I cannot know about myself if I cannot experience myself. So it starts to move in order to experience itself. This experience that we will see on the screen, we as humans are going to see it this way, like a spiral. This center in the middle, it starts to expand. And the way that it expands is through a frequency. That frequency is born within consciousness. And what makes this consciousness move is frequency. This first impulse is what we call here on Earth sound. The sound that is shown there is the first universal basis. We're talking about frequency, not sound as in noises. It's a frequency. That means that sometimes you cannot perceive it. That essential frequency is the one that gives the impulse to the whole creation. And the first creation that is going to show up starting from this frequency is what we can see as electrons. But they're not actually electrons because material still doesn't exist. Electrons is what we call spirits. Spirits are the electrons of the essential universe. If you don't move, nothing gets transformed and nothing is learned. So these spirits need to throw themselves into movement. That's what we call magnetism, universal magnetism. This magnetism human beings call is love. In Spanish, love is amor. A stands for without, and mors, or in other words, muerte, is death. Without death. The deep meaning of no death is that nothing dies. Everything gets transformed. The magnetism of the spirit allows everything to become transformed continuously. This love is what we call the first real energy of the universe. The sound is the first frequency and it generates energy. It starts to vibrate strong. Many religions call the first sound or the first word. For the Christians, first was the word, and the word became flesh. In the East, we have the Om. So we have frequency and energy. Energy starts to move so fast that it transforms everything around it. Love equals transformation. What transforms us? What makes us change? What is love in our life? Frequential love that I am talking about doesn't reside in the heart. We still don't have chakras. It's not that kind of love. Love is what we call time. What does time do? It transforms us day by day. But not because the day passes. Time passes by because we are transforming ourselves. So love is time. Love in its continuous transformation generates such a powerful energy that it radiates like a frequency that spins really fast, like an engine. What does it radiate? It radiates light. So the light is the second universal basis. Sound generates energy, and energy generates light. This light likes to project itself, and what we used to call love here starts to direct itself according to the light. Different rays of light, that energy starts to burst. It's like the blueprint or the phi or pi number, the symbol, that energy that was chaotic at first starts to organize itself. Light organizes love, consciousness. And the connections of these two things generates frequency. Light in the head, the pineal gland, love, transformation, united by this frequency in the middle. This pattern, this blueprint generates what we call, quote unquote, cold. It's geometry. What geometry does is that it organizes the frequency of the energy of love. It also gives it purpose. Now that we have all this structure, this expansion, the third universal basis, that is form. Sound, light, and form. That is what allows there to be existence. Frequency creates energy, and energy creates light. The light creates a pattern of geometry. Geometry is a transformation of forms. This is another thing that we need to understand, and this is the Holy Trinity. Do you remember in Christianity 2,000 years ago, we've been hammering this idea of the Holy Trinity? The Holy Trinity is known as the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, but in the universal Holy Trinity, it is sound, light, and form, and this has two aspects, female, male, and the integration of both. This is the sound generating a frequency, but it bounces, and we have the light in order to have experiences. And God said, "Let there be light." The sound created the light, and that's how the world was made. How did He make the world? 10 dimensions. He or she realized that from the totality, he realized he needed to experience itself, so he created the Christ consciousness, 9. The level that is in the cycle, 8. And then the transformation, 7. The experience, 6. Its light, 5. Its possibilities, 4. And the world, 3. It was 7 days. He realized that he needed to experience itself, 10. And in 7 days from the ninth dimension created form, the world. They are levels of consciousness, not days. And God said, "Let there be light." And the Verb became flesh. The Father, the Son, and the Son. The Father, the Mother, and the Son, the Holy Ghost. The number 3, the galaxy, which is the eye in the middle. This is the Holy Trinity. So when you do the sign of the cross, it is the sound, the light, and the form. And that's why doing the sign of the cross is the Son, the Creator. Repeating the 9 levels of consciousness once again. 9, the Christ consciousness. 8, the infinite cycle. 7, the consciousness of transformation. 6, experience of the transformation. 5, light of the transformation. 4, possibilities. 3, form, the world. All the spirits, we need to create this Holy Trinity in order to create the experience. So the first thing that Spirit does is to create a vehicle. That vehicle is the Merkaba, but the force that allows this engine to move is what we call the soul. The soul is not the spirit. The spirit is the divine essence. The soul is the energy of the universe in continuous transformation. A spirit cannot have experiences if it doesn't have a soul, but it can have experience if it has many souls.